Yes, boss. See the topic, man. Is fear more powerful than love? Mr. Atwell, shout outs to you, man. So I was having a conversation with my mentor, and he said something to me that really made me sit down and think, right? And I remember I said this to you guys. I said, some people respond to fear quicker or will be more likely to respond to fear than they would be to love. So that's when he mentioned, he was like, fear can sometimes be more powerful than love. So I'm like, I don't get it. He was like, think about it, right? Let's say if you ask somebody, you do something for somebody out of love, right? There's no guarantee that they're going to reciprocate or give that back to you. You get what I'm saying? Versus, let's say, if you're putting pressure on a person or you're putting fear into them, you're more likely to get them to move more or get something out of them. You get what I'm saying? Because fear and love is two different things. It's the opposite of each other, right? So really look into it, right? When you put fear into somebody, people are going to move for that as opposed to love. You get what I'm saying? So example, let's say, this is an easy one. Make it real simple, right? Super easy. Let's say I ask you for $1,000, right? If you do it in a nice, polite way, chances are some people will be like, no, I don't have that, or I'm not giving that to you, or why would I give you that, right? Versus, let's say somebody did it in an aggressive way. You know what? Let me pull out a gun and put it towards your head. Give me $1,000. That now becomes what? A robbery. You're in a state of fear. That person applied what? Pressure onto you. So you're more likely to respond to that as opposed to somebody asking you on a regular, yo, let me get $1,000, versus somebody trying to take it by force. You get what I'm saying? So that is one aspect where you could look at it where fear can actually be responded to faster than love, right? And not only that, think of it like this, right? A lot of people have gotten their way in life and done certain things out of the fact of, let me put pressure on somebody or let me put fear into somebody. Because guess what? Putting fear into people, especially when you have the muscle behind you and people know you to be a certain type of way, you're more likely to get certain things to go in your favor. Why? Because people know what type of person you are. It's just like example, right? Look at people out here in the streets or whatever. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it so easy, bro. I had a golden example like right on the tip of my tongue, man. I forgot it, but if it comes back to me, I'll let it be known, right? Think about it like this, right? Look at it like in a prison aspect, right? When you're in prison, you cannot be on no lovey, hey, love, man, love. People are gonna look at you what? Like you're soft. You feel me? In this lifetime, it's just crazy that people perceive kindness is weakness. And when you're somebody who's more nonchalant, you're not a talkative person, people look at you like, yo, you probably have something in store. Empty barrels make the most noise. But if you're a person who can apply fear or insert fear into somebody, you're more likely to get them to do what you want. Matter of fact, the example just came back to me. So here's the deal. Look at that movie Shotters, right? If you've seen the movie Shotters, Teddy Bruckshut became like the number one dude after Biggs left. You get what I'm saying? Now that Biggs came back in, Biggs told him, yo, I want piece of everything. Teddy Bruckshut like, huh? That's when he had to grab him up, put the gun to his head and said, look, if you sell a half a Coke, I want piece of it. If you sell a nickel bag of weed, I want piece of it. He put a gun to his head, challenged him while he had his homies around and had his dogs there too with guns aimed at him. Like, that's the lifestyle we live in. I'm putting fear into you, i.e. I'm extorting you. That's where the term extortion comes from. And if you don't know or understand extortion, in order to extort somebody and do it successfully, you have to insert fear into that person. You feel me? And the thing about it, what people don't understand is when you're putting fear in people, you have to be careful of who you run that game with, dog. That's why I said you have to be careful on a whole the games that you play in life. There are some people who think, yo, I could put fear into a person and they'll respond the way how I want them to. That doesn't necessarily work with everybody. Some people respond to love, some people respond to fear. There are some people that feel like, yo, if I could put fear into you, that's going to cause my plans to fall in line. In actuality, sometimes putting fear in people, that can cause people to want to retaliate against you. or start to watch you and see what they can do to hurt you or harm you or get back at you. Because why? You did something in an ill-advised way. So go deeper into this whole subject, right? I use the example about Shadas. I use all of that, right? Now think of it from this aspect. You putting fear into a person, this is why they would probably want to retaliate against you. If you're putting fear into somebody, you're downright muscling them. You're forcing your way into a situation, or you're forcing something to go in your favor. That can put a person into a state of either panic, a state of attack mode, a state of I cannot lose what I have to retaliate. Here's the thing. There are some people that use the fear tactic and the fear mechanism to bend things in their favor. But here's the thing about that. There's some people who've been using this tactic for years on end, and they fail to realize puss and dog does not have the same luck. Whatever you do to Tom, Dick, and Harry, you cannot try with these set of people over here. It's just like, look at Friday, right? What did Smokey tell Craig? He said, yo, after he jacked what's name for his chain, he was like, oh, my grandmama gave me that chain. He was like, shut up. He was like, Debo, why don't you stall him out? And Debo took the chain, took the bicycle, and rode off. What Smokey said after that was very powerful. He said he only tried that shit on us. He wouldn't try that on them fools around the corner. Exactly. You have to understand this. It's like a famous Jamaican saying, Duppy know who for frightened. People know who it is that they can try. And then there's some people, they're not all the way smart, and they feel like they can use their power and their leverage to bat up and move on with badness and put fear in people. And downright, they may not even know who it is that they're dealing with. Because look at it again, and I'm going to state it and spin it in a different way. When you put fear into somebody, you're applying pressure. Okay, I stated that, but go a little bit deeper. What does pressure do? Pressure bursts pipes, dog. There are some people who cannot take pressure. Look at when people go into an interrogation room. Look at when some people have to go see the judge. That amount of pressure that you face, that's going to either make you stand tall or you're going to fold under pressure. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I said people saying, yo, you know, I use fear to do this, or I put fear behind it, so I had to muscle somebody to get my way. You have to understand that you cannot do that with everybody. And the games that you play is a game that can pretty much catch up with you. Give you an example into that, right? Look it back into the movie Shutters, right? Yes, Teddy Buckshot got extorted. Yes, Biggs and them was taking money from him. But the whole time, if you watch the movie, look at what was going on. Teddy Buckshot was planning revenge on them. Because one, you came into a spot that I come to frequently and eat and made me look like I was a pussy, dog. That's rule number one. And you feel me? And this is a man thing as well. If you're a man and you feel like, yo, I got the power right now, or I could try you, let me tell you something. Every dog has his day. Today for you, tomorrow for somebody else, dog. You cannot ride on the same luck and ride off of the same games you've been playing since you were like a kid, bro. Times are changing, dog. Information is out here in abundance. So if you feel like, yo, I can put pressure into this person, or I can put fear into this person, they're going to do what it is that I say. It's like people are trying to find a lick in life, or find somebody that they can get their time back up off of, or somebody that they can use. And before you ever try and say something, you know what I'll do to you. Let me tell you something. If you have to put fear in somebody just to get your way, that's weak, dog. But what makes it even more lamer, even more weaker, is if you're taking from innocent people, or people who are not like that, or people who are not on that type of time. That's weak as hell. That's the definition of pussy, bro. In life, understand this, bro. Fear is a powerful thing. Love is a powerful thing. But I'm telling you right now, using fear on people to get the things that you want out of life, I'm telling you that always comes to a bad ending, dog. It always comes to a bad ending. Look at the same movie again. Look at Into Shadows. What happened to him? What happened to Biggs? Biggs was the last man standing. All of his homies got killed. Mad Max, killed. Sprague Benz, killed. You feel me? What they call him? Wayne, killed. You cannot play these games with people. Whatever game you might run in your neighborhood, or you might run amongst your friends, that's not a guarantee you're going to be able to run that shit with the whole world. You might fool some of the people some of the time, but you're not going to fool all of the people all of the time, dog. There are going to be people out here, and this is another thing why I'm saying this. You have to look at it like this. if majority rule of people in the world are looking to find somebody that they can use or somebody that they can turn into an idiot, you have to understand that there are a lot of people who've wasted time. They're not trying to waste any more time. They were never trying to waste time. There are some people who are probably looking for certain things and had to learn a horrible lesson behind it. Remember this, Don. I did a video about this. Evil people will teach you some of the worst lessons you'll ever have to go through in life. And that's a fact. Because why? You're so sweet. You're so good. You're so naive. I can play you, use you, trick you, screw you over. And guess what? That's just what it is. You got to understand in life, right? If anybody is going to try and use fear on you, chances are they probably had to study you or probably tried to see if they can, what can I extract from this person? What can I take from this person before they elevate their game? You get what I'm saying? This game is it's a very screwed up world we live in. And I'm not going to lie. The more and more I start looking at certain topics I had and what I wrote out and certain stuff, I'm like, yo, I got endless topics on evil people and tactics that evil people use, bro. And one of the biggest tactics that they use is putting fear into people. If I can put fear into you, I can get you to what? Conform to me. If I can put fear in you, I can get you to what? Bend to my will. Same thing as conform. And guess what? It goes deeper than that when you put fear into somebody. When you put fear into somebody, off of fear, you can inconvenience those people. Example, yo, I put so much fear into you to give me certain things of what I asked for because you know what the consequences are going to be. I probably inconvenience you as to where, yo, you couldn't even pay your bills because you have to pay me, or you're in debt to me, or you're afraid of the consequences. There are people who use these games, dog. And that's why I said it's crazy. Even look at the movie Shot Us, bruh. Shit crazy, dog. Wayne even snitched on himself and showed how like some pussy movie was moving, bruh. He's like, all the people, the locals over here, they give me a thing. They give me a piece of something. So why? So I don't do anything to them. That's pussy. Taken from the innocent or taken from the weak to pump up yourself, that's pussy, bro. That's hella pussy and weird, bro. If you want to be somebody who, yo, I got stripes like that, go after a worthy target. Meaning, if you're going to try and put fear in somebody, don't do it to somebody who's innocent, who was never in the way. Do it to somebody who's on the same type of time as you. Look at the same movie again, Shot Us. Biggs did it to somebody on his level. This was no innocent person. We know how you move. You know how I move. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to extort you. And that's where all of this evilness and badness comes from. Mind you, as I stated, when it comes to love, some people would not know what love is unless it had to hit them in the face and they still wouldn't know what it is. Love is free. Love is patience. Love is kindness. Love is not something that somebody is going to try and harm you about or try and put fear into you. You get what I'm saying? That's all forceful behavior. That's all devilish, demonic behavior. You get what I'm saying? So understand the difference, right? Is fear more powerful than love? I'm going to personally say, no, fear is not more powerful. In this world, this evil, devilish world, you could probably call it like that. But when it comes to real love and what stands up, what's really right, what's true, what's just, love kills a lot of things, man. Love kills a lot of stuff. It's just some people do not have love in their heart, so they do not see it that way. You feel me? With that being said, remember this. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I use them to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser. Understand this. In life, fear can be used in different kind of ways. But to use it to harm somebody, to gain capital, to do something screwed up to somebody who probably never deserved it, I'm telling you, there's such a thing as karma, bro. And every dog has his day. So if you're going to be doing that to somebody, trust me, chances are it's probably going to come back around to you. Especially if you've been doing it to people who do not deserve it. You feel me? With that being said, man, 444 the world. Peace.